Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sukartono from Department of Soil Science, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Mataram. Now I would like to present my article. The title of article is Soil Characteristics and Maize Yield under Various Conservation Soil Tillage Techniques in the Tropical Semi-Arid of Southern Lombok, Indonesia. First of all, I would like to briefly explain my introduction. As we know that the global issue of soil degradation become major issue in declining crop production. In agriculture land, soil fertility deterioration due to depletion of soil organic carbon have also been widely reported as early stage of declining soil quality or soil degradation. Any factors associated with this problem involve long-term practice of intensive conventional tillage without crops residue retention and use high chemical inputs and other improper soil management. How about the soil fertility problems now in semi-arid Lombok? Poor soil quality problems in maize-based cropping system in right-fed area of southern Lombok, Indonesia include low of soil organic carbon, poor of soil structure, and low soil nutrient status. So limited returns of organic matter to the soil was main reason for declining soil fertility status. Local farmers in the region mostly remove and burn crop residue and applying intensive soil tillage before planting. They grow hybrid maize as monoculture with high rates of inorganic fertilizer containing nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and no intercrops with legumes. These practices actually could not sustain maize crop production. Therefore, we need to find a solution for this problem. Farm trial dealing with testing of soil tillage practices and legume cover crops is offered in the area. As we know that conservation tillage techniques which are underlying principle of minimal soil disturbance, soil cover and crop rotation may become alternative to overcome soil fertility problems. Therefore, some soil tillage techniques such as no-till with mulch, soil ramping, permanent planting hole with organic, and conventional practice using tractor and 4 types of legumes cover crops were tested under maize-based cropping system. The objective of research was to evaluate the effect of conservation soil tillage techniques and legumes cover crop on soil characteristic and maize yields in the tropical semi-arid of southern Lombok, Indonesia. Of course, the results of this study are expected to benefit farmers in developing sustainable maize-based cropping system in the semi-arid region of southern Lombok, Indonesia. Next, material and method. Field experiment was conducted in the rain-fed area of southern Lombok, eastern Indonesia. This is the map of Lombok Islands. The location was 22 meters above sea level, and the climate type in the area categorized as D4 according to Oldman, which has erratic rainfall with 3 to 4 months of wet season in a year. And about 90% of rainfall occurs during December to April. It was recorded in 2018, annual rainfall was 1,200 millimeter, mean air temperature was 31 degrees Celsius, and atmospheric humidity ranged from 80% to 85%. Soil types of the sites is insectisol, with 80 centimeter depth. The soil surface or topsoil of 20 centimeter was a silty clay texture containing 44% of silt, 45% of clay, and 11% of sand, with pH of soil 6.93, containing low soil organic carbon 1.36%, and also low of nutrient status, in particular nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This is the performance of soil profile in the location. This is a layout of a field experiment. Soil tillage techniques, including no tillage, we call P1, soil ripening, P2, permanent planting hole, P3, and conventional tillage practices, P4, were set up using a split block design as main plot, and type of legumes, namely leblep C1, coffee C2, hybrid bean is the hybrid of coffee and long bean, and mucuna, and one treatment is no cover crop, was set up as subplots. The size of main plot was 500 meters square, while the size of subplot was 100 meters square. We move to land cultivation. Land cultivation that we prepare was done according to the tillage treatments. For P1, land was no tillage, just a direct seeding with maintaining crop residue on surface. Soil ripening treatment of P2 was a tillage using a special ripper attached at the tractor with 10 cm depth with spacing of 70 cm between ripes line. The crop residue were also maintained on the soil surface. At phase 3, where planting hole was established using a crowbar. For conventional tillage or treatment of P4, soil was ploughed at 20 cm depth using a tractor after clearing surface soil from crop residues. Legume cover crop were planted at 3 weeks after planting of maize. Seed of legume were planted in between maize lines. This is the sample of legume seed that we use as legume cover crops: leblep, hybrid bean, mucuna, and coffee. We move to measurements. We have two type of variables, which are soils variable and agronomy variable. Soil variable involve bulk density, particle density, soil porosity, particle size distribution or texture, pH, soil pH, organic carbon, total nitrogen, extractable P, exchangeable potassium, and cation exchange capacity, CEC, cation exchange capacity, and agronomy measurement were dry weight of air and grain yields. For agronomic measurement, we conducted on the basis of 15 plants sample per plot, which previously determined through a diagonal sampling method. So we move to result and discussion. Table 1 here is a summary of analysis of variant of soil characteristics after field experiment. So it can be seen from the table that there was considerable effect of tillage techniques on soil characteristic, whereas no significant effect of legume cover crop on both soil characteristics. So only particle density and pH was not significant. More detailed data dealing with the soil physical properties we can see on table 2, where we can see here tillage treatment, tillage techniques had significant effect on bulk density as well as on total soil porosity, but not significant at particle size distribution. So the lowest bulk density here we can see in P3. It was 1.09 gram per centimeter cubic, and subsequently followed by no tillage and soil rippling, which were 1.13 gram per centimeter cubic, and conventional tillage, it was 1.19 gram per centimeter cubic respectively. Here we can see the data of soil porosity as well. The increase in total porosity after experiment at three conservation tillage practice here, P1, P2, and P3, means that the soil didn't experience compaction. The highest total soil force was 49.97% was recorded at P3, and at P2, 48.84%, 48.75%. Now we have also figure 3 about soil chemical characteristics, including C organic, total N, phosphor, potassium, and cation etching capacity before experiment and following application of different tillage practice. At P3, overall we can say that tillage methods significantly influence the soil chemical characteristics, including C organic, total N, P-Bray, and exchangeable K and CEC, except for soil pH. Treatment of P3, P2, and P1 also resulted in higher soil fertility status as compared to the conventional tillage of P4. Improvement of soil fertility, as shown in plots of P3, P2, or P1, actually represent the role of conservation practice with organic matter addition. The permanent planting hole with additional organic manure, we add 25 tons of manure per hectare here, tend to have highest value of soil fertility status. However, in conditions where sources of organic manure are not locally available in the location, or we can say limited, treatment of no-tillage as well as ripening might be considered for better choices for maintaining soil fertility in the area. Next is about the maize yield. Here we can see analysis variant on maize yields under different tillage techniques and legumes cover crops. So here we can see that only tillage practice has significant effect on component of maize yield, while we didn't have a significant effect of cover crop, and also there was no interaction between tillage practice and cover crop. This is the detailed figure of effect of tillage practice and legume cover crop on ear weight of maize, and Fig 5 telling about effect of tillage practice and legume cover crop on effect of tillage practice and legume cover crop on grain yield of maize. Analysis of variant of maize yield under different tillage practice and legume cover crop is presented in table 3, that there was only tillage technique as main plot had significant effect on maize yield. Irrespective of legume cover crop, mean of component yield, weight of ear, and grain yield were higher at plot of P1, P2, and P3 compared to the conventional one or tillage practice, traditional tillage practice. The highest mean grain yield was recorded at P3, either with lab, coffee, and hybrid beans as cover crop with value of 5.48 ton per hectare, and subsequently followed by reaping P2 and no tillage P1 and conventional tillage P4 with mean grain yield of 5.10 ton per hectare, 5.07 per hectare, and 3.85 ton per hectare respectively. So interesting to note here that 4 types of legume crop, lab, coffee, hybrid bean, and mucuna, have consistently similar response to maize yield. The positive trend on maize yield in plot where cover crop grown confirm that important role of legume crop as part of crop rotation in maize-based cropland. Even though the effect of cover crop we cannot observe in 1 year of research. So the conclusion of this experiment, conservation soil tillage techniques improve soil fertility and produce higher maize yield compared to maize grown under conventional tillage. Mean yield of maize under street tillage practices, including permanent hull, soil ripening, no tillage, were 5.58 ton per hectare, 5.10 ton per hectare, and 5.07 ton per hectare respectively. These yields reached 31% up to 42% higher compared to the maize at conventional plot, which was 3.85 ton per hectare. So conservation tillage practice may become alternative to replace conventional tillage to provide better soil fertility and sustain maize production in the region. The last one for the research. So because the research is only 1 year, so confirmation based on long-term study of the cropping sequence under multi-location and different soil type, particularly in the semi-arid tropical region, might be necessary. And also possibility adoption of using legume cover crop and conservation tillage technique as part of conservation agriculture need to be sound. Thank you very much for your attention.